Hello students, welcome to our latest update program. In today's video, we'll talk about a new bill which is the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen Bill, because this bill is all set to replace the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So this act has been continuing in India for the past 20 years and now the government is all set to replace this with a new bill. So while certain provisions of this new bill, they are actually going to work towards better asset development, better asset creation and providing enhanced worker livelihood security, there are certain provisions in the bill that are inviting concerns. In today's class, we'll talk about all these things in detail. So the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act was enacted in 2005. It was continuing in India for the past 20 years and the goal was to provide livelihood security to rural households. And now this is going to be replaced with the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission. Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen Bill. And here the end goal is not just to provide livelihood security as was in MGNREGA. The end goal is to provide livelihood security along with creating durable rural assets. So the goal is not just to provide livelihood security to rural households. The goal is that while providing employment, asset creation should also happen. Long-term durable asset creation for the rural areas should also happen. We'll talk about all these things in detail and then you'll be able to understand the difference. So if I talk about the key differences over here between both the schemes, under MGNREGA, we know that there was a provision for 100 days of paid work, 100 days of unskilled manual labor per rural household, correct? As a livelihood security scheme, the end goal was to provide 100 days of paid unskilled manual work to rural households. Now this has been increased. The limit of 100 days has been increased to 125 days. Now instead of 100 days, rural households can demand 125 days of paid unskilled manual work. So this is a good thing. Now if I talk about the nature of the work, earlier this used to be completely demand driven, correct? There was no planning that used to happen, pre-planning that used to happen. The work was completely demand driven. Let's say a person from a rural household will go and ask for work, and then after asking for work, the work would be planned and decided. So the person might be just asked to go and dig a pond. So this was completely demand driven. The work was scattered because there was no pre-planning in place. Now this has been changed because I just told you that the end goal is to do what? Employment generation as well as durable asset creation. So now we are going to have proper pre-planning. Plans are going to be created in advance. Annual plans are going to be created in advance by the Gram Panchayats under 4 priority areas that have been identified. First is the projects for water security. Here we'll talk about improving the irrigation facilities, canal creations, etc. So we'll have projects for water security, then we will have projects for core rural infrastructure creation. Core rural infrastructure like enhancing the connectivity in rural areas, building highways, etc. So core rural infrastructure will be created. Then livelihood related infrastructure will also be created. here we are talking about improving the market facilities, upgrading the market facilities, building cold storage facilities, food grain procurement facilities, etc. So all these things are going to be covered under the livelihood related infrastructure development. And lastly, we also have climate resilience. Projects for improving or building climate resilience will also be identified. Let's say there would be projects for soil conservation, there will be projects for controlling flood situations. So basically what is going to happen under the new scheme, the work is not going to be scattered or haphazard. It is going to be completely pre-planned in the annual plans which will be prepared. And under these 4 core areas, we are going to first identify the projects, and then based on that, whenever required, employment is going to be provided. Now all these things are also going to be in alignment with the district, state and national goals. So when the Gram Panchayats create these projects or plan all these things, the goal is going to be to have a convergence of all the vision, the mission that we have, Viksit Bharat mission of 2047. So all these projects, all the asset creation will happen in a way that there's a convergence between the district, state and national level goals. So it is not just going to be haphazard, it is going to be completely pre-planned. This is one good thing. And then if I talk about the funding pattern, so earlier what used to happen, center used to bear the entire wage cost. Whatever wage had to be provided, that was borne by the center. And the states used to bear the unemployment allowance. If they were not able to provide employment as mandated under the scheme, then they would have to give an unemployment allowance, and that cost was borne by the states. Now under the new scheme, there is going to be a sharing of funds. Now the entire thing is not going to be borne by the state. There is going to be a normative funding. Funding is going to be happening as per certain rules and regulations. For example, there is a 60-40 model for most of the states. 60% of the cost will be borne by the center and 40% by the states. And for some special category states, we'll have the 90-10 division, 90 by the center and 10 by the states. So now not the entire thing will be borne by the center, states will also have to chip in their share when it comes to wage payment. So this is one change in terms of funding. Then earlier there used to be no explicit pause window. What is the pause window? This meant that there was no break in employment creation. The person could have gone and asked for employment throughout the financial year. There was no pause window, that this is a no work window. Now under the new scheme, there is a provision that there can be a pause window of up to 60 days, which will be notified by the states. This means that the states can notify a period wherein no work will be provided, the no work period. This is one of the most controversial provisions of the bill. This is the time where no work is going to be provided, because it is a no work period or a pause window which can be notified by the states, and the maximum duration can be 60 days. So this is one of the provisions where, let's say, the worker security can come down, and this is why it's becoming controversial. And then earlier the wage payment had to be done within a stipulated time window. Now this has also been made more stringent. So proper timelines have been identified that mandatorily weekly wage payments will have to be done, and the maximum that it can go up to is a fortnight. So we are going to we have made it more stringent, week or a fortnight, and earlier also there was a stipulated window, but this is going to enhance our worker security, because proper timelines have been identified. Then earlier, the Gram Panchayat planning was central. As I already told you, the work was completely demand driven. Gram Panchayat would create that demand based on whatever was required just in the rural areas. And now Gram Panchayats are going to do the planning, but that planning has to be in convergence with the district, state and national level goals. The assets that we are developing have to be in alignment with the national goal that we have of a Viksit Bharat of 2047. So there is going to be a convergence. No silo creation is going to happen. So these are certain provisions, these are some key provisions of the bill. While there are some good things like from 100 days we go to 125 days, the stipulated wage payment window has been identified, cost sharing is going to happen. There are certain controversial areas where we talk about the pause window, which was not there earlier, but now it is going to happen. And another key controversy is around changing the name, because changing the name again is going to bear some cost, is going to bring in some cost. So these are some key controversies that are happening. As a way forward, certain experts, certain people are actually demanding this to go under review by a parliamentary standing committee. Let's see what that when that happens. It's actually a developing story. But that was all for this video. Now let us look at a practice question for prelims. With reference to the proposed VBG-RAMG bill, consider the following statements. 1. Under MGNREGA, the new bill proposes to link rural employment with pre-planned Gram Panchayat level development plans. 2. The VBG-RAMG bill increases the guaranteed number of employment days per rural household compared to MGNREGA. 3. Under the new bill, rural employment will continue to be entirely demand-driven and open-ended in nature as under MGNREGA. 4. MGNREGA primarily functions as a social safety net, whereas the VBG-RAMG bill emphasizes creation of durable rural infrastructure and climate-resilient assets. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 2 and 3 only, B. 1, 2 and 3 only, C. 3 and 4 only, or D. 1, 3 and 4 only. Please read all the statements carefully, attempt this question and provide your answers in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.